treating boys differently and treating girls differently emphasises in their minds that they are different and can therefore achieve different things.
But you're a doctor. You know they're different.
Anatomically, yes. But in terms, this is nature-nurture, isn't it? It's that whole discussion about that. And
it's not about biology, though. They see lots of comment from the viewers this morning saying girls are girls, boys are boys. Lindsay on Twitter, biology can't be changed. Christopher Dawes on Twitter, gender neutrality is absolute nonsense. We're born male and female, and that's the way it is. I probably, when I was given this morning, was a little bit cynical. What you're trying to explain is that the inequality in gender can start at school. It's really interesting what you just said. I looked at Charlotte, because I would call my son mate and my daughter's darling sweetheart, right?
Absolutely.
But
does that mean we should stop doing that?
Yeah,
then?
good question.
That's part and parcel. This is a hugely complex topic. There isn't an absolute black and white answer. But if you think about things, sort of advertising, clothing, I've seen some clothes from a high street store where the boy's hoodie is blue and it says, "Getting ready to change the world." And the same age group, the girl's pink top, has 2 pictures of kittens and says, "PayPals." What is that telling that
this is a really interesting story.
boy?
Kate's got a story. This is brilliant.
Gosh, I'm not sure I know which story. You might have to tell it in a minute. But no, pink. Oh yes, my son. Well, first of all, just to say that I've spoken to shops about this, and they say they do that because that's what the girls choose. And I guess that's what you're trying to change, isn't it? That girls choosing those sort of things. Now, my son, he might kill me for this, but he loved pink. It was his favourite colour. He started school, and after a term, he said, "Actually, my favourite colour's blue now," because he worked out that the other boys didn't think, you know, wearing pink was so cool. And now he's going to year 4. He said, "Actually, Mum, my favourite colour is pink, and I'm going to start wearing it again." So there is peer pressure to conform because youngsters like to fit in. It's part of what we all do, isn't it? When we're trying something new, like going to school or a new job, the first instinct is to fit in and make friends. But then, hopefully, with a bit of confidence, you then choose your own path.
Yeah, I mean, 2 things to that. Interestingly, pink in Victorian times
was for
boys as a sort of
dresses as well,
younger colour for
skirts as well.
red. But this is about not limiting your children. So adults place constraints on their children based on what we expect that they can do. And we ran a little experiment in there, a demonstration of a well-known study, where adults, it's shown that adults choose what the child should play for based on an unconscious bias, based on whether they're a boy or a girl.
But if you go with that whole thing, and I read it about, like, if you put kids in a room and there were tanks, and dolls.
Exactly.
You're saying what the society would encourage the boy to go to the tank, or school would, or the parents would.
Yes, because that's the expectation. Boys are better at this, therefore let's get them to play with that.
I tell you what I'm interested in is what differences. I don't necessarily have to agree with it or disagree, but what differences did you notice afterwards? You took this class of 7-year-olds. What happened afterwards?
I'll let you answer.
Yeah, well, before, the girls showed really low confidence. So they weren't confident in their own abilities. So if you ask a child, the girls, we did a test. So they had 10 questions, and they had to say how many they would get right. And the girls, almost all of the girls said 3 or 4. We're going to get 3 or 4 correct in this test out of 10. And the boys were 9s and 10s. And actually, the girls did really well. They got 10s, they got 9s and 10s. And so what we did was we worked on the girls' confidence so that they could actually then believe in their own abilities. And through lots of little things that we did with them, this actually changed.
And was that division in conference purely gender-based, or was it personality-based?
No, it was gender-based, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nearly all of the children, nearly all of the boys sort of overestimated or gave themselves, a really high expectation.
The only thing I want to say is, because it's one of those debates that you can't win, right? And you said it at the beginning. No harm, I guess, to investigate this, but people watching this who have in their thousands are saying, that's all right, but be careful that you don't then push the message that being a boy or a girl being a girl is wrong. I think there has to be a middle ground. You can't be saying to a boy who wants, sorry, it's very basic, this wants to play with the tank, and the girl who wants to play with the doll, that you should cross the room and do the opposite, right?
No, this is exactly the opposite of that. It's, the pushback to that is this is precisely about not limiting. It's not about taking things away. It's about ensuring they have a chance at everything.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, nature, nurture, we're nurturing our boys down a direction and we're nurturing our girls down another. And what we're saying is, because both can achieve, we know both can achieve as much as the other, we should be giving them the fullest, most complete opportunities.
And what we found with the boys was that the boys really struggled to talk about their emotions, you know. The girls could talk about how they felt, you know, they could talk about love, they could talk about friendship, being kind. The only thing the boys could really talk about and use vocabulary with was being angry. And actually...
We got to move on, but I remember my mum used to say, boys don't cry.
By the way?
That did change.
That did change.
Watched.
My mum used to say, growing up, boys don't cry.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. Guys, thank you. We'd love to do more.